have seen, all of us have watched all the episodes of Netflix's adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and we just have to ask: did Netflix get it right? Is it better than this abomination here? Is it better than The Last Airbender that we just tend to ignore? It's a maddening proposition here. So we have to wonder, did they get it right with their adaptation of it? So, this is the new look of Avatar: The Last Airbender, with of course Aang. And all the characters, but they covered up to season one, which is book one, Water.
Yeah, like
Covered all of season one, which is roughly about 20 or so episodes. Had 8 full 40 to hour long episodes. Also, before we continue, we do have, of course, the man who will slide in your DMs quicker than you are at the skating rink. It is Unico Williams. How you doing today?
Hey, gentlemen, how y'all doing today?
We are good. We are good.
Joe on CP time.
always and forever.
Man, I've been sitting here looking at my computer and my Facebook and all that stuff for like since 8 o'clock my time.
I don't think. Otherwise, this is Avatar: The Last Airbender review. So, first we'll go down the road. We'll just we're gonna keep it simple. So everybody gets their little spiel in. We'll keep it nice and orderly. So we're gonna go through the good, the mid, the ugh. We'll go through all of real simple. So we'll go down the road. Say everybody, let us know of things you found good in the anime. We'll keep it simple. One thing you found good about the live action adaptation. And I'll start from the bottom. Since you were late, you get to go first. Unico Williams, what did you find good about Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I didn't find anything. So let me start by saying I didn't find anything bad, right? I didn't find anything like bad or horrendous or anything like that, man. First of all, I thought that whole has to be like comic book accurate thing. I thought that was only for comic books, for like Marvel, for DC. I didn't know that it went to Nickelodeon lore. Like, what are y'all going to do when they come out with a Angry Beavers, a live action movie? Are y'all going to be like, no, they ain't do that in the show? Like, bruh. First of all, I want to talk about the CGI. Yes, we saw that they actually hit us with a pump fake, because that one where he was jumping over the rock after Umi or Boomy sent it to him, that wasn't even from that scene. So they was hitting us with a whole bunch of different stuff. They was hitting us with pump fakes in the previews. Also know that the CGI from the previews was not the final product. They were just hitting y'all with previews, right? So there's that. All I'm saying is that I think that they did a well enough job in regards to, first of all, they got to finish these chapters, because that kid's only going to be young and cute for that long. I know we're in a weird space to call kids young and cute like that, but I'm saying seriously, like he can't afford to go. He can't afford to go. They have to continue this. They have to finish this, because he's only going to look that way for so long, right? So they can't go to Harry Potter route and be like, oh, year 7. No, you have to like complete this like within like a year story, right? We just waiting for Sozin's comment.
Oh yeah, the whole story happens over the course of about a few months, actually.
So they gotta continue filming this, and I believe that they have enough clout right now to continue filming this. But overall, what did I not like about it? I'll tell you what I didn't like about it. There was so much self-loathing. Oh, I can never save anybody. Oh, I was gone for 100 years. Oh, there was a whole bunch. My friends don't need to be with me, because that's what all the avatars said. I just need to do this by myself. I didn't like that. Was too much. They really played into that part so much, and that's okay. I get it. I know what they were trying to do, but I think within 8 episodes, and they were able to finish out season 1. I think they did a very good job, and I don't have a problem with this Avatar movie.
All right, so since Unico decided to break the mold, we'll give one thing you like and one.
I broke the mold.
Yeah, he just asked what you find good.
Fine. We'll break.
They did a good job.
He did good and bad, so fine. And we'll go to the degenerate, the Afro comic. What do you like and dislike about The Last Airbender? Well, Avatar, at least.
I like it. Was super solid, yo. The pacing was really good. I was worried when I saw that we were going to try and put book 1 in 8 episodes. I was worried, do you get too caught up in Omashu, or do you get stuck somewhere along the way? Does but they did. I think they did really good with the. They did really good with the pacing. The story stayed as true. They changed good parts. I saw a lot of people complaining, oh, Sokka was nowhere near as goofy in this as he was in the show. Well, I hate to tell you folks this. What translates in cartoons is not always going to translate in live action. Sometimes you gotta step it back enough for it to fit the picture. That just is what it is. Hey, but here's the thing though. I thought it was pretty good. Honestly, they hit all of the high notes that you thought they would. I didn't find any castings that were downright egregious. Nothing like that. Super solid. I'm intrigued to see what they do with season 2. If they get a season 2, it's on that most liked trend, and that's the Netflix metric they care about. If you like the video, they'll continue the show. That just is what it is. But it came out way better than I thought it was. It makes me think maybe Netflix is finally keying in on this live action formula. They might have it.
All right.
And as far as disliking, the only thing that I really disliked about it was that I feel like they in their effort to keep the pacing with the story moving ever forward, I feel like maybe we lost out on some of the nuance in the relationships with the characters. That's something that can be fixed in later seasons. I don't think that's anything irreparable. There's no irreparable damage that's been done that we can't bounce back in book 2. So, yeah, like I said, maybe if we'd got a little more nuance in the relationships, when we got to the faces episode with the demon and everything, we slowed down a little bit, and everyone had to have that come to Jesus moment, if you will, when they looked back on their past and saw the things in their lives that really traumatized them. Though we got that in one episode, we know, as opposed to watching the show where it was spread over multiple episodes. But yeah, like I said, maybe a little more slowing down, a little more nuance, but that'd also be asking them to add an extra 10, 20 minutes into each show, which is honestly a lot of money when you look at it from the production side. So yeah, that's about it for the dislikes. Nothing horrible.
All right. And then of course, shout out, we have been joined by the BMT himself. He couldn't help himself. He had to come here and let them know that the Dark Lord has arrived. He had to let us know. But before we get to him, we'll give a moment to compose himself. Zelmay.
First off, the dark content.
My favorite part of the movie was probably the casting. I think they all did a great job of acting and everything in it. I think everything, for the most part, I thought everything was solid in the movie. Didn't have any problem with the show. The show. I mean, yeah, I had no problem with the show. I did have a slight. My dislike would be some of Sokka's story and his like. I know they took like the sexism part out, which the only I think it. But it didn't really hurt the show.
Can I ask you a question real quick? What? Had they not come out with all the whispers and murmurs, that was a big point that I was thinking of. Had they not come out with the whispers and murmurs about how Sokka was going to be and all that stuff, would you have picked up on the fact that he wasn't doing that?
100%. In episode 7, it hurts. You would. It hurt episode 7. It don't hit as hard because when he supports his sister, it don't hit as hard as it would if he was like, oh, these people, they don't.
But you would, but had you never heard anybody give whispers, you would have picked up on
that. No, it would be a notable. It would be a noticeable change.
Episode 7, it would be noticeable if you notice in episode 7 because it'd be like, oh yeah, especially when you get
the episode. No, the Poku part or like.
No, when they were like, oh, women don't fight.
It's
Paku, and that's the.
I'm sorry, Paku.
It's the tail end of the episode, but yeah.
Yeah, when they kept saying women don't fight, when he supports the sister, it will hit like he wouldn't support her in the show, and you will notice it, and it kind of don't hit as hard because it don't. Because
there was never that moment.
Yeah,
I was just asking.
Because the whole thing of the show is he's sexist, but when that comes up and he supports his sister, that's like a giant moment. You know what I mean? Because like, oh, this dude don't believe women can do it. Now these people telling women can do it. Now her brother, who is somewhat sexist, is like, oh, you can do it. And then like, oh shit, she supported her. Instead, they try to do like a little angle that Aang. They try to go a little angle.
They still
Aang was
touched
like, no,
on the sexism, though. They still it didn't come from her
but,
brother, but they still touched on it. And it's still
they don't hit as hard when they're not from the main character that been there. They don't hit as hard.
Yeah.
They was getting their ass beat. And he was like, you know what? Actually, yeah, man, just go ahead and help.
It don't hit as hard. That's like episode 7, the only one I felt like not adapting fully hurt. That's why I was saying it's only episode 7. The rest of it, you can get away with most of it.
I was gonna say, no crazy blatant changes.
Yeah, like outside of episode 7, you'd be like, dang, that's supposed to hit a lot harder than it did. But it did. They tried it.
It was sort of a failed payoff.
Yeah, and then the lovers cavern, the lovers cavern, the little cave. They switched it with the brother and him, and it kind of fell off. But them the only two things I had that when they switched it kind of fell off. Even on the show, even if you don't see it, it kind of feels like okay, but they try to switch it up so you don't notice. So if you never watched it, it wouldn't affect you at all. But if you watch the show, you kind of get like, dang, it was a kind of them two moments kind of go harder in the cartoon. Other than that, I have no problem with you. But those two moments were kind of very noticeable. They didn't hit as hard.
Oh boy, BMT, welcome, my good man,
welcome.
Let BMT slander. That's what he did.
I'm gonna let
he came to spew vile.
Before I give my spiel, I'm gonna let the BMT give his
vile.
Thank you for allowing me to come from the dark continent and all my ashiness. Thank you. So, first off, I'll say something good. I'm glad they gave kids of color a job. So I will say that. I'm glad they gave kids a job. They needed one. And this is a good start off for them.
Help.
But we know Netflix is running a scam on taking hard-hitting children's shows that were making money. Yu Yu Hakusho, One Piece, Avatar, the first book, and they're trying to make a get back. You know what I'm saying? Because we understand certain generations these days have never seen them. But for those of us who did love the shows, I'm sorry, it didn't. Like, Aang was not that the person he wasn't.
Oh, you're breaking up.
They knew he was going to say some blasphemous shit, so they was like, hold on.
Well, see, that's the thing about it. Like, when the fact that you started to see Aang, if you saw Aang sad, that's when the whole group, Aang's cherry mood set is what kept the group going. Okay? Sokka felt like he was an inadequate warrior because he didn't get to go with his dad. Okay? His sister, remember, the village denied her in teaching her how to what? Fight. Because she was a woman. Only the women in the water tribe learned how to do what? Healing. So the fact that she actually learned how to fight and heal, oh man, she's like a better version of Sakura. That actually works. So that's why them taking out some of the hard-hitting aspects to show, hey, like Sokka seeing his sister being able to do what they like, you know what I'm saying? The support of, hey, what are you doing? Why are you trying to do that? That was important. Sokka's love life is very important to the Avatar chapter book because him losing certain people in his love life shaped him into becoming a stronger man, right? We can't deny that. When he lost the girl with the moon, listen, I almost cried. I'm like, what? These kids are losing people too? Oh, man. Like, their backstories that made them Team Avatar was what made us cheer for them. But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't feel nothing for these kids. I'm like, man, hurry get this out the way. And see, that's what happens when you try to make a cake, but you actually just skip some of the ingredients. You know what I'm saying? If they would have said, we're going to do this in 24 episodes or take our time doing it, a slow cook is not a bad cook because it's building up a simmer. But if you're trying to rush it in 8, no, we would have been fine. Because it would have been good.
May I talk to you about how much filler was in season 1?
What was the fillers?
Plenty.
Like, no, you give me. You just saying plenty. What's a filler?
I didn't set a list up right now, bro. I'm just telling you, that there's filler in Avatar the first season.
You can't say there was a filler and you can't tell me the filler.
That's all right. I'll set up a list next time. I thought you would already know.
Thank you. I
thought you watched season 1, so I figured that you knew that there was a lot of filler in season 1.
Thank you. I came from the Dark Continent. If you're gonna say something, you got to throw something at us in the Dark Continent. You got to destroy our dreams over here. So the fact that we saw them, their little adventures that they got into, we like that. I need to find me a weapon, or her stealing.
You needed that?
Huh?
You needed that?
Yes, we did.
For the live action?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. See, that's the thing about it. You want the old audience that got hyped up, just like you wanted that.
No, nobody wants.
Who's nobody?
I'll say this. I feel like in order to make a live action adaptation, you're not going to do it word for word. Why do y'all want it word for word, just like y'all do with these comic book movies? Y'all want everything word for word. It has to be like y'all. Why y'all doing this with Nickelodeon shows? I don't get it.
That's so crazy. So they'll go grab a high-selling comic book character and hoping that they can pull their audience, but then they get mad when the audience that supports that character critiques what they made. Well, why are y'all complaining? Shouldn't y'all be thankful? Well, I don't know. Don't you want our money? Shout out to Henry Cavill for saying. Henry Cavill said this: you can't get mad at the audience that you're trying to target critiques your work. If you want their money, do it right. I like it that they critique me with The Witcher.
Right.
Witcher was the third season of Witcher was not doing it right.
What is doing it right?
Thank you.
You want them to do it word for
word.
That is what he doing.
I'm asking.
That's why he quit.
I'm asking one question and I'll be done with it. Actually, this will answer it all for me. Doing it right, does that mean doing it scene for scene, word for word, from what you've already read or watched? That's why I'm asking, because I think that's what you guys want.
That's not what we want. I don't think that's what.
Tori likes the movie.
I was talking BMT. I'm talking BMT. No, actually, because honestly, I'm very surprised by you and Afro Kami Zelme. I'm actually surprised that y'all actually was like, hey, this was actually kind of cool, because it did deviate a little bit away from what they showed us on Nickelodeon when we was kids. But from a comic book standpoint, a lot of people be like, man, they didn't do this, they didn't do that, they didn't do this. I'm actually surprised that y'all kind of
it's different with comic books, because with comic books you make blatant changes.
So now we're talking Nickelodeon. Now we're talking Nickelodeon lore.
But what they didn't do was make blatant changes that deviated from the whole of the story. Were there nuances that were missing with certain characters that were in the source material? Yes. Was that a problem? Yes.
So are we holding Nickelodeon to the same standard as lore? Like, are we going to be mad if they come out with a real life Rocco's Modern Life, and if he doesn't say Garbage Day is a very bad day?
Listen,
hold on.
When because I'm answering your question. If they didn't want you to take the lore seriously, they wouldn't put out all the exposition. You wouldn't have all of these Avatar books that emphasize the lore. Why the fuck? I read them too. I was saying they wouldn't have put out all of this extra material for lore if they didn't want you to care about the lore. Why do you think there's 12 fucking books?
Like, if you make Janet Bravo, he not sexist. I don't know what you do.
I mean, like that's the thing about it. Like, some of us actually were watching the Avatar because we liked watching the development of Sokka become from a young boy at the village to becoming a man who became a master with his own sword, who had a girlfriend, lost one girlfriend. We started respecting woman warriors. I'm like, yo, Sokka, we're doing this, bro. We respected that. We respected Korra we respected how Korra developed. We respected how his sister went from women can't fight, y'all just heal, to literally being one of the most dangerous waterbenders in the world. Like, Toph They thought she was weak, but she was blind. She showed, just because you have a disability does not make you like. They went and shaped. Nickelodeon did that right. Was showing different kids of backgrounds that literally you can do these things. So yeah, if I wanted, like, my kids even watched Avatar the show, they watched it twice because they like those characters. But then when they saw, mind you, my kids critiqued it. I don't like this. I don't like that Aang. He complains too much.
My
Because
niece
Aang
wasn't feeling it either, though.
right.
She's watching
Aang wasn't a complainer.
but she wasn't feeling it either.
Right, Aang wasn't a complainer.
Joe, you did complain about that. That was your dislike.
No, that was my dislike. I did not like that. But
they did it to supplement for soccer sexism because
I was going to say they thrust Aang deeper into depression to raise Sokka up from womanizing.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't agree with that.
That's what they did. So it's
that's what they did. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
I was just asking a question. That's all, man. I appreciate your opinion, bro. And I respect it too.
Episode 7 it hurt, but everything else, I can do it.
Right, but go ahead, go ahead, make it make sense. And that's for me, make it make sense for me. But that's all I gotta say. I'll sit in the dark continent boat. Don't mind me.
Well, let's take a gander and break down my spiel. So first, to answer the question of Unico when he's wondering, like, how much adaptation does it really need to be 100% accurate? My answer to that is no. It does not need to be 100% accurate. But the things about the show that you're making a live action version of that make your show good, those things you should keep. So whatever in the show made the show what it is, made it as popular, that's fine. And then you hit like major story points. If you change some stuff, change some things that you wouldn't mind changing or make sense. Like, people don't complain about changes when they hit. You complain about changes when they don't really make sense, which to go into the things that I dislike about it. Like for me, for the thing I liked about it, I like the fights, the CGI fights, they was fine. Firebenders, no problem. The waterbender abilities, really, they put like a lot of stock in. Like Paku and Katara's fight, in episode 7 is probably, like, to me, the best fight of this entire show. I generally enjoyed that particular fight, the effects they showed on the water with those two freezing ice and everything. Even though it was toned down from the show, sure, you're gonna expect that to some degree. But like, that was fine. I didn't have a problem with the fight. I thought they were relatively done well. Everybody had good stuff. Zuko did his part whenever he fought. I was cool with it. I didn't really have no problem with the fights. Story elements, they hit the major story parts. Yeah, they changed some stuff. Like, Aang and Zuko didn't really fight much.
Yeah.
It took. And that was crazy.
They sort of glossed over the blue demon a little bit. You know what I mean?
Which fine.
That's when Zuko was a badass.
Like, they got in, like, they didn't give them a lot, but they went into it. I'm like, okay, fine. Like, you showed it.
They still touched on it.
But I'm not really gonna hinge too much if you hit the points. If you don't want to gloss it out for 20 minutes, fine. As long as you hit the major points, fine. The parts I didn't like was basically, I didn't like some of the characters. Like, to me, they hold a lot of the characters and that made them who they are, which is the issue that I had with them. Like, for me, actually, the ones I hated Boomy. I'm gonna tell you right now, Boomy, they killed to me. You change
very subdued.
You change
bitter,
like, in his entire form of who he was. And Boomy is a relatively important character to Aang and everything, but they made Boomy like a complete opposite of who he was as a person when you didn't need
one of his best friends too.
So they ruined Boomy for me. That's like one. I had like 3 characters I really just did not like. Boomy was one. To me, I'm sorry.
I knew you would hate this. I'm like, what, they gonna hate this?
Azula didn't hit, bro. I'm just gonna be real with you.
I said it before. You said, I knew he gonna hate this.
She was too hinged. There was not enough of the hinging.
I wanted to fear her.
Like, Angelica, what it do? She didn't hit to me. Like, it's not even just like she wasn't really just the Azula of the show. She just didn't hit. Like, she didn't, like, the role she played in the live action of being scary, scheming, fearful. Like, I'm sorry, she didn't hit at all. Like, she just did
cold and calculating. Yep.
The baby face too.
Like, this
was a little too baby face for me.
This ain't it. Like, I would I'd have laughed a little bit. Like, if she was the general of my army, like, bro, like, this don't hit. Like, she wasn't it. They could have did this entire live action fine and not showed her at all, and it would have been fine. I would have had no problem. The show would have went the same.
Technically, they could, because they could just moved it to the second season like they normally do.
Right. Thank you.
Like, they had her bend lightning when she was going with talking with her dad. during the last part of the fight. I'm like, what's the point? Like, we ain't need this. And like she was gonna shoot him with the lightning or nothing. They just had to make out a scene to sort of make her relevant and make her look scary. I'm like, no, like she didn't hit. She didn't hit. I'm sorry. And to me, the last one didn't hit. I'm sorry. She got on my nerves the entire.
Man!
I didn't hate her.
Team?
I didn't hate her, yo. I really didn't.
She got on my nerves. It's most of why I didn't like the Katara shows. Like, one, did she look the part? Yes, she looks fine.
Yeah, she spot on for the look.
But it's two issues. One, throughout the course of the story, her jumps and water building ability didn't make any sense. She didn't fight a lot over the course of the show.
She did get really good really fast.
She didn't get trained at any part.
She got a fairy tale speech and got better.
She didn't
She had the Mary Sue. She was a Mary Sue.
So
she got talk no jutsu.
None of it made sense. Like she couldn't get all out of water in the beginning. Aang said one sentence to her. All of a sudden, she floating in this thing. Like, that didn't make sense. Then after that, at the end of episode 1, you all of a sudden making a water wall when you midair in the sky. Like, that don't make sense. Like none of her journey to where when she was fighting Paku at the end made any sense for her to have gotten that far. Then he called her a master. I'm like, bro, she didn't had a lick of training the entire.
She's already a master.
Her fight with Paku was the first time she managed to turn something into ice. I was like, when did we get here?
How did she get to that level?
Well, that's what I said when it was lacking some nuance. We know that there was a whole time where Katara learned about fucking removing heat from the water and this and that, and there was this whole, and that's why I said there was some lack of some nuance.
They gave her a book, bro. They gave her a book.
They did give her a book. They did give her a book.
But here's the thing about it. Like, we forget that your bending is also attached to your emotions. Shout out to Zuko's uncle. So the fact that she had certain doubts about her water bending was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? They had to get over their insecurities. But again, like, her just jumping straight to master, I'm like, nigga, how? Like, all you did was read. How did you, like, you didn't get really no battle experience? And I get it. Oh, well, they only got so much time. No, if you take your time, you appreciate the characters and want to see more. They'll come back. Heck, you might even make it to where they do the Korra book. But if you're not like, oh man, I'm glad I got through that, it's not the same. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, like the girl from Kill Bill, the one the little Yoko girl that had the ball and chain, she could have been a good goddamn little Fire Nation little brat.
She's way older now, bro. That was almost 20 years ago.
They would have made her work. That
was almost 20 years ago. I got to stop you there, BMT.
I just want to see her hotness.
She does not look the same.
Let me be disgusting.
I'm just saying, she does not look the same anymore. I promise.
But either way, like, that might feel like Katara, the water bending doesn't make sense for her to get. Then second, like, the emotion that wasn't really shown in a lot of her major issues. Like, at the end, she's crying out to Aang when Aang's taken over by the moon, the ocean spirit. Like, she's almost whispering. Like, none of her emotional. They didn't really show a lot of emotion for, like, the characters that they were going through a lot. Zuko's fine. Uncle's solid. I don't really have too much of an issue with Uncle. No, those two.
These are some super well-adjusted children for being in war.
Right, that are going through war.
Side characters, even on episode 3.
I hated Jet. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think about that.
Jet was supposed to be a badass, bro. Jet was supposed to be a whole badass. Like, I'm like, I'm with this kid. Keeping up
together. I'm not really mad at that. You want, like I said, cutting out some of the fat. That's fine. The Kyoshi Warriors, even that episode.
Hey, that shit was fire. Actually, having a bitch come in as Avatar Kyoshu instead of fucking doing. I liked that. I thought that was fine.
I wasn't mad at that. Like,
you're fine.
You got Roku a lot because Roku.
Hey, yo.
She took that paint off. I'm like, damn.
The characters.
All right, I see you.
They didn't. All the characters did not hit. They just, for their roles as they were, they did not hit. Azula.
I feel like all the avatars did, though. I feel like all the people they picked to play the avatars, like Avatar Kyushu, Roku, and fucking Scaredy Pants, Mr. Scaredy Bear.
Yoshi was fine. And then the last one, he was like, they was all fine. Like, they didn't have big roles. They took out.
I was gonna say they didn't have big parts either, but I feel like they all aesthetically and verbally, I feel like they hit the characters on the.
I hated all their ideologies though. They like, I feel them, but I'm like, I couldn't.
That is an issue. Like, they made the story was.
Well, they all. You gotta think they all are from different times though, like hundreds of years apart.
Yeah, I get that, but it's just like No, like now this isn't so much as how they portrayed them. It's more or less like now I'm starting to dislike. Damn, I don't really like you as the Avatar. It wasn't
That's part of the learning from your past thing. No, but I'm saying as the character. It's part of the you learn. Aang's whole shtick is that he learns what the other avatars did, but he also learns what they did that he shouldn't do. It wasn't I'm taking everything from this avatar and we're finna just wreck shit, because he'd have went the Kyushu route. He'd have just murdered everybody. The avatar would have just been Aang dropping rocks on niggas over and over again.
Like, but, I think that was the thing about it. Compassion
with the sternness, and with Roku, you get the calculating, the Fire Nation, but still he had all these problems, and then as you get deeper, you get into the battle with the spirits and everything. It's just yin yang is a really big thing in Avatar. We know that.
But I say this. Listen, I know I cut through about my critique, but we see the play. When you have something that you care about, that you actually like the Avatar, that was one of Nickelodeon's best animated series.
Original.
And a lot of people, and a lot of us used to watch it because it was good. It was even adults were watching it too, not just kids.
My parents were down with. They didn't care about watching Avatar.
I'm like, I get it. You want to grab the things that hit, but we ask you as viewers, please put more care. This is why the Star Wars fan base is now like, yo, we don't even care what y'all put out anymore, because we know y'all not going to do it.
That kind of toxic and racist, that fan base.
We understand it, but I'm part of them, damn it.
they racist as fuck, that fan base.
I came from the Xbox toxic era. Damn it, I survived. So I'm just saying, bro, like something there. I'm just saying something that, okay, listen, I even have to go rewatch One Piece and say, you know what? I got to be fair. There's no way they're going to get all this right. I got to be fair. There's no way they're going to be able to do Bleach and all this stuff right. But some things I can give a pass for. But I appreciate they just showed it with The Witcher, and that's a whole big book that if you take your time.
Like 6 books.
Right. And you know the thing about Henry Cavill actually cared. He actually wanted it done right. And what happened when they started deviating, changing those stories? He said, hey, I'm not doing this. No way. If we're not going to do The Witcher right, I'm out. I'm not doing it, because they're coming to see Garrett of Rivendell. If we're not going to do Garrett of Rivendell, then why are we doing this? I'm just saying, bro.
Like how they did Storm. They was like, Storm, I promise you're gonna save kids with rain in Africa. Psych! No, you're not. We just wanted you to sign again.
But
I'm just saying. Listen, most of the story problem that came with the story come from them trying to make Sokka not sexist, and then it came up with Aang being a crybaby, and other people just. You know, that's what happened when you try to overtly change something.
But it could have been way worse. Let's be honest.
That's why I
way worse.
But you know what?
Watch the movie, dog.
It wasn't I was about to say, go see what M. Night Shyamalan did to this shit, and then say this is horrible.
Right,
we can't do it. We've seen.
No, I'll take that. I'll take this over M. Night Shyamalan. But I think it was a missed lesson to show that, hey guys, girls are just as capable as you. You know what I'm saying? It was a missed lesson. So
episode 7 was a disappointing episode.
They were afraid to get Sokka's actor canceled for being a sexist on the.
Man, he's the only nigga with a chin like that. You can't get him canceled.
Well,
that chin game is strong.
He is spot on, yo.
Who else got that? Who else got Sokka's?
Around this off.
I don't know, man. He's too burly for me, man. I needed a petite kid from Degrassi. Fuck this nigga. I wanted that.
This nigga is.
You wanted Drake.
I don't want no Samoan soccer player.
Listen, Drake is fucking Sokka is nasty work, BMT. I gotta stop you there. I'm not here for Drake Sokka. I'm not here for Drake.
We'll turn Jimmy back if this.
No, but you know what I'm saying, like. But I'm saying a majority of the Water Warriors were stocky and big and buff.
Yeah, but you can't think it was also a cartoon. We got to remember that. It's not gonna. There's no way.
Look at this grace you're giving
to translate fucking. Well, it's because with simple shit like this is just shit that we can't change, fucking, until we get to that genetic manipulation level where fucking people are picking what their babies are gonna look like. Fucking,
I love her, by the way. That baby.
You're gonna have to fucking deal with what you get. That was a bad. That one, I don't have an excuse for Azula.
She looked too fat, man. She was just too fat, man. Nobody was wearing no fat Chinese girl.
He said it, not me.
I stand it.
They made her homegirl. They made one of the homegirls chubby too, though. I wasn't feeling that.
It's okay. I'm in the dark continent. That's okay. I'm in the dark continent.
They made Zuko's hoe.
Jesus Christ, what is going on?
Yo,
they did make Zuko's hoe a little chubby.
Oh, even though Azula shouldn't have been thick though. But
They just grabbed the whole Kung Fu Panda cast.
Oh my God.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Make it make sense.
So, that one there was a violation. Personally, I wouldn't have it. And if
I understood I was gonna be the other. I understood. And y'all saw me breathe from the dark.
We didn't have one.
There's no way you were gonna tell me them. Listen, that's not Chow Yun Fat. There was only one fat guy in all of Avatar, and that was Uncle. And mind you, he was putting in work. You're not gonna tell me them girls.
What are y'all doing? Why come y'all naming up here? Y'all losing that.
Well, to round this
They
off,
did a decent job, yo. I didn't have anything flagrant to say.
before this madness gets any worse, we'll round it off real simple. Everybody can give their scores that they would give this show, and what you hope for season 2 if it gets confirmed. It hasn't been confirmed they're gonna get a season 2 or anything yet. So for me,
wait.
Yeah. They gotta spend at least a month in the most liked before they get greenlit.
For me,
we know the Netflix
solid 7 out of 10. Relatively speaking, I give it 7 out of 10. I think it hit the notes it needed to hit. The characters, of course, the characters need to be better. And if you're gonna change story elements, at least change it for the better. Like I agree with Zelmay, the cabin in the cave scene that actually starts to show Aang and Katara, making towards that next step. Of course, they took that and made it the brother thing. So no, they don't. Those two don't really have, any. No, they don't have a lot. They have a little bit, but they don't really have a lot of connection, towards them going to the next level. So with me, for season 2, if you do a season 2, make the characters a bit better, please. Like, give them some feelings, some soul, some, make them recognize who they are. That's what I would hope for season 2. That's me. Zell, you up. Score and what you hope for season 2.
I give it the same thing, about 7 out of 10. Solid show. What I hope for season 2 is I need more character development. I just want them to develop. I don't need, like I said, like the thing y'all done heard the complaints. The most of the complaints is Aang a crybaby. Sokka don't really have a story because they just gave everybody else his story to make up for the fact that he's not sexist. Azula, I need her more menacing. You can kind of maybe just play it off that she grew into it if you're gonna make changes, but I don't know how you do that.
Switch out the actor and have her growth spurt. I hear you.
Just make it like I said. You can do that.
Or I mean, what's the diet pill going?
Oh my!
Hit her with the Ozempic. The Ozempic.
Look at that fat kid.
Hey, that was a baller fucking cast, though.
I love that.
They did a good job on that.
She was hot. She was hot. She was hot. I would let her catch me.
Wow.
She was hot too.
I didn't hate Zhao.
Zhao was still a prick.
As lame as he's supposed to be, it worked out.
It sort of fit. I was gonna say the actor sort of fit how we think of Zhao the Moon Slayer.
The Moon Slayer. He really killed the moon, though, y'all.
He did kill the moon.
That was a nice surprise. He came with the body, all that. You know what I'm saying? Pause.
Zell, you say what you wanted for season 2?
Yeah, I wanted more character development, a little more story. If you're gonna change something to make it fit, at least try to make it fit because the characters felt like you wrote a good story, but the characters don't have the depth that they should have at all. Nowhere near the depth that should have. So give me some depth.
Afro Kami, your score and what you hope for season 2 if it comes out.
I think that the nuance didn't detract me. I'd sound like a broken record, but it's like I said, it's solid. A 7, maybe a 6 if you're a super stickler for certain details. As for season 2, aside from we need some nuance in there just a little bit. There's enough there's enough sprinklings from the story where we can save some of these characters perception wise. I feel like a little well placed coaching in the production room could go a long way. But yeah, a little more nuanced. Fucking Toph better not be taller than 4'9" or fuck that.
Oh, Toph. Oh, I didn't even think about that one for a little. We have Unico Williams. Your score and what you hope for season 2 if it is confirmed.
Was it everything it was supposed to be?
The Avatar, The Last Airbender was exactly what it's supposed to be. It was a pretty good real life adaptation of Avatar. And they did what they needed to do in regards to staying close to the story, but they took their own liberties and gave us some of their own extra backstory, especially in regards to the war and all that, and how, you know, the Fire Lord and all that type of stuff. So I think they did a really good job. So I'm giving it an 8. But that's because of peer pressure, because I want to give it higher. Because I think it did what it was supposed to do. I think it should have a higher score than 8. And then what I would want in the next season, I just want to see Toph, because I think they were experimenting with earthbending. And in this, I think they're experimenting with what they could possibly do. How do we punch rocks at people? Stuff like that. What can we do? I think they were experimenting. I think there's more to come, especially with the uprising of AI and what could possibly be done. Also, I want to talk about the CGI. Omashu, that was beautiful. I can't wait to see Bong Sing-se. That's gonna be dope, I think, coming up. And I think they're gonna put their best people behind it. And so yeah, I'm just expecting. I definitely want to see Toph do some dope things next season. They're gonna have to do something with the blind vision, like View showing us what she can see based off
the Earthbender Fight Club could be a problem.
That Earthbender Fight Club could be that could make or break it from a CGI standpoint. That's going to be crazy, because we saw in the actual animation that was dope. That was fire. Underground Fight Club Earthbenders. So I'm excited to see that. So and actually with all this being said, I'm actually looking forward to a live action Life of Korra.
No.
I don't know about all that.
Based off of technology right now and how they're trying to move forward, by the time they get done with The Last Airbender, I mean, we might be able to see, man, you already saw how crazy Korra was. Now we can get rid of some of the aspects of Korra, like in regards to some of the side stories, but I'm talking about as far as the bending that's going on in Korra with the advanced technology. And man, that could be a dope movie. I mean, or series rather. It should be a series. So I'm hyped for Korra more than anything.
There's gonna be a lot of CGI in there, though. I ain't gonna hold
It's gonna have to be crazy. It's gonna have to be
a whole
crazy.
lot of CGI and a whole lot of muting of tones, because you got to think, by today's standards, there are more than a few problematic points in Korra in today's society.
If you want to call them problematic.
Oh, rip it down.
I mean, when you start talking about suicidal assault,
or even bother with that.
it gets a little.
PMT, as you hear, your score on what you hope for season 2 if it comes out.
So, what's the score from 1 to what?
1 to 10.
I'm gonna give this a 4, because by every book, what kept us coming was we connected to. We already knew what character that we saw ourselves as, and even I saw myself as one of the Kyoshi warriors. I'm like, you know what? If I wouldn't mind joining and learning some of their schooling, but this time I was like, nah, these are just some annoying kids, and that little bald Asian kid is just depressing. So I don't like him no more. Like, I'm sorry, he just was annoying. He just too depressed. I'm not used to seeing depressive Aang. Like, he needed Zoloft. So I'm giving it like a 4, because
that's fair.
You took one of the most happy-go-merry kids. Like, Sokka was trying to be serious. Korra, she was like, or the girl, what's the girl's name? God dang, she keeps sticking in my mind. Kara was more like the motherly portion of the team, and I didn't really care for her. She was just annoying. and Aang was just very depressing. I wouldn't even want my kids to say you should be like Aang, because Aang was like the kid, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but as long as I got Appa and a flying monkey, a lemur, I'm good. Like we'll figure it out as we go. So I didn't really care for these kids this time. So that says a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I give it a 4. What they do need to do is find a way to make us actually want Team Avatar. Maybe they need Toph. I'm just saying, maybe they need a Toph. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Toph helped out. She was like the strong. They needed another female part of the team. That's that they even, you know what I'm saying? That's what, you know, and I think that's the sad thing about it. You know, the battles, they don't need to work on the battles. I think they're already good, but they definitely need to improve on that of making us want to connect to them. Like the Straw Hats on One Piece, I liked them. I connected them. I liked them, all of them. And I like how they did that. So you can't tell me Netflix can't do it. So that's all I gotta say. It's a 4.
With that is gonna be our lovely review of the Avatar. If you like it, if you appreciate it, if you appreciate what you saw here, make sure to do us a favor. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all them wonderful things to Make It Make Sense, the podcast.
Hit the notification bell.
The other notifications and channels here that you might be watching this on, whether it be BMT Business Mind Talk, Overall 99 Media, UnicoWilliams.com, and not just for the other stuff. You know, make sure y'all come visit and watch. And who knows, we might be back here again really soon, you know, for other projects that, you know, need to be so we may be back here relatively soon. Who knows? Otherwise, thank you all for watching. We appreciate y'all. Peace. Make sure to visit them all. Zelmay, Overall 99 Media. We have the Afro Comedy 765 holding down the X.com on Twitter, Unico Williams at UnicoWilliams.com. And of course, BMT Business Matters on. Thank you all. Peace.